FA Cup Manchester City vs Plymouth Argyle prediction, team news, lineups preview. Vying for a place in the FA Cup quarter-finals, Manchester City welcome Championship outfit Plymouth Argyle to the Etihad Stadium for a fifth-round tie on Saturday evening. The two teams meet for the first time in any competition since February 1989, when the Citizens claimed a 2-0 victory in the old Division 2 at Main Road. Match preview. Following back-to-back defeats to Real Madrid and Liverpool, Man City returned to winning ways and secured 3 valuable Premier League points in a slender 1-0 victory at Tottenham Hotspur on Wednesday night. Erling Haaland marked his return from injury with a 12th-minute match winner, his 20th Premier League goal of the season, to help the Citizens climb back into the top 4, albeit just 1 point ahead of Chelsea in 5th and only 5 points above Aston Villa down in 10th with 11 games remaining. Pep Guardiola's side are now prioritizing a top 4 finish in what has been a turbulent season for Man City, who after winning 4 Premier League titles in a row now sit a whopping 20 points behind champions-elect Liverpool. Ending the season on a high by winning silverware remains on the cards, though, as City have been listed as the bookmakers' favourites to win the FA Cup. Indeed, now that Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea and Spurs have all been eliminated, Man City will back themselves to win an 8th FA Cup this term. The Citizens have reached at least the semi-final stage of the competition in 7 of the last 8 seasons under Guardiola prior to the current campaign. But they have only triumphed on 2 occasions in 2018-19 and 2022-23. Last season's losing finalists are now preparing for just their second-ever FA Cup meeting with Plymouth, having previously beaten them 3-1 at Main Road in the 5th round back in 1988. City have already beaten 2 lower league sides to get to round 5 this term, thrashing League 2 Salford City 8-0 in the 3rd round, before coming from behind to beat League 1 Leyton Orient 2-1 in the 4th round. Less than 24 hours after being appointed Plymouth's first foreign head coach, Muslic watched on from the stands when the Pilgrims stunned Brentford to win 1-0 away in the FA Cup 3rd round last month. However, he was in the dugout when Plymouth produced the shock of round 4 by knocking out Premier League leaders Liverpool, winning again by a 1-0 scoreline 3 weeks ago. Ryan Hardy's second-half penalty was enough for Plymouth to get the better of a much-changed Reds outfit in front of a bouncing home park crowd, progressing to the 5th round of the FA Cup for the first time in 18 years. Since beating Liverpool, Plymouth have picked up 5 points across their last 4 championship matches to boost their hopes of survival. After thrashing Millwall 5-1 on home soil, the Pilgrims suffered a 2-0 defeat to Blackburn Rovers, but they have responded with back-to-back 1-1 draws with fellow relegation-threatened sides Luton Town and Cardiff City. Last weekend, Cardiff threatened to spoil the recent optimism built under Muslic after Youssef Saleka's early goal, but Plymouth fought back to deny the 10-man Bluebirds, with Muhain Tijani netting a second-half equalizer to move the Pilgrims to within 3 points of safety. Before travelling to Hull City in their next championship fixture, Plymouth will endeavour to pull off another major FA Cup upset at Man City, a team they have suffered defeat against in 8 of their last 9 meetings in all competitions, the exception being a 3-2 second-tier win at home in January 1988. Team news. Manchester City will be without Rodri ACL, Manuel Akanji abductor and John Stones thigh due to injury, while Oscar Bob is closing in on a return to full fitness. But this weekend's game will come too soon for the attacker. Guardiola is expected to make a number of changes to the City side that beat Spurs in midweek, with Stefan Ortega, Rico Lewis, Vitor Reis, Nathan Ake, James McAtee and Jack Grealish among those pushing for a recall. Since his debut in the FA Cup in January 2016, no player has been involved in more goals in the competition first round onwards than Kevin De Bruyne, 26, 9 goals, 17 assists. The Belgian netted the winner at Leyton Orient in the previous round and is in contention to start in midfield on Saturday. Another name who could be involved is new signing Claudio Echeverri, a 19-year-old attacking midfielder who has now arrived in Manchester and could be in contention to make his debut after starring at the Under-20 South American Championship, where he captained Argentina to a runners-up finish. As for Plymouth, Muhane Tijani is facing a couple of weeks out with a hamstring injury and joins fourth-round hero Ryan Hardy back, Brendan Galloway hip and Joe Edwards hamstring in the treatment room. The absences of Tijani and Hardy leaves Plymouth light in the attacking department. Mustafa Bundu has operated as a number 9 in recent matches and could lead the line once again, while on loan Burnley striker Michael Obafemi is the only natural centre-forward in Muslic's squad. Maxim Talavirov, Nikola Katic and Julio Pleguezuelo could all line up in a 3-man defence, as they did against Liverpool, with Matthew Sorinola and Timotas Puchaks playing as wingbacks, while ex-Man City youngster Darko Jayabai could be recalled in midfield. Manchester City possible starting lineup: Ortega, Lewis, Rees, Ake, O'Reilly, Gundogan, De Bruyne, Doku, Foden, Grealish, Marmish. Plymouth Argyle possible starting lineup: Hazard, Talavirov, Katic, Pleguezuelo, Sorinola, Randall, Jayabai, Puchaks, Wright, Al-Hajj, Bundu. We say, Manchester City 4-0 Plymouth Argyle. Plymouth could become the first team from outside the top flight to eliminate Premier League opposition in 3 consecutive rounds of the FA Cup since Wigan Athletic in 2017-18. But their next opponents Man City have won their last 18 FA Cup tie against teams from lower divisions by an aggregate score of 69-9, since losing 1-0 at Wigan in the 2017-18 fifth round. Muslic will hope that his Pilgrims players can deliver another spirited performance, but it is difficult to envisage the visitors pulling off another cup shock this weekend, as Man City should be too strong for them at the Etihad. Even if Guardiola opts to make multiple changes, thanks for your watching. Don't forget to click the subscribed button and hit the bell icon for more.